Yo, what's going on, ladies and gentlemen? It's Foots, it's Zach. You guys see the overlay, the graphic that the GOAT Zach created, and we kind of want to let you guys know that we are going to be doing. We talked about this, didn't we, Zach? That we're going to be doing a post game show.
Yep.
Okay, so now you guys know we'll be doing a post game show. And so we may do one of these a week. Also, Zach has some things coming down the pipe as far as some of the work that he'll be doing. So you guys know that you see us across the screen. You guys know what it is, especially like even with draft season, we'll be doing some stuff and we'll be working together. We talked about it earlier today. We're going to go back to the Senior Bowl, and with the Cowboys having so many picks, we're going to have you guys covered from wall to wall. But Zach, how you doing, man?
I'm good. And I just want to give a little bit of a disclaimer here. If I cut out and freeze, Foots is going to pick up for me, and then reminding my internet's been crazy over the past couple of weeks, but we're getting it figured out. I'm just going to throw that out there real quick.
Quick disclaimer, right, Zach?
Yeah, that's right. But I'm so excited. I was talking to somebody earlier, like, I can't believe that we made it to the season. Like,
I know,
dude, it feels like we were just in Mobile. That was January. We are in September.
Well, Zach, you know what's crazy? That's real, but then it's like it got to a point where it was like, okay, we're in training camp. You know, you're talking about the sixth receiver, which Trayshawn Holden. Hey, man, you had it. You got us through. You know, content wise, the whole nine. But then the Micah saga, right, Zach? And me and you haven't talked on air about it. Let me just get your thoughts before we get to the keys of victory, because I don't want to keep talking about it, but you know, that saga came, went, and the game crept up on us. But it's almost just like it's surreal to think that when you sit back, take a step back, man, Micah Parsons is no longer a Cowboy.
Yeah, and if anybody watches my channel and you saw my video to that, my initial reaction was anger.
Yeah.
Because it's just hard. The Cowboys, I think somebody said 1993 was the last time that they traded away an All-Pro or something along those lines. Like, this just doesn't happen. And I said it all offseason. I'm like, they're going to get the deal done. Like, that's just how it is. And then they didn't, and they traded him away, which just blew my mind. My initial reaction was, why are you getting rid of good players? But now, you know, sleeping on it, it's been almost a week now, coming up on week one. I feel better about it. I feel better in the sense of Vegas is kind of telling us too. I was telling you this earlier. The total win is set at 7.5. Dallas could easily win 9 or 10. But with Micah being traded, it didn't move.
No,
it didn't move down. And then me and you were talking earlier about how much they've invested in the edge position over the past couple of years. I mean, even in free agency this year with Nealand and Williams and Ezra, all those guys. So a little bit more removed. I feel better about it going into week one.
Yeah, that's where I'm at with it. There's no need to trash Micah on his way out the door. I appreciate everything. Like, he was a great player. There also were reasons for concern. And the thing that I think I've been taking from it the most is I feel like this wasn't Micah was bad for the locker room, but I think it was a shot he has now got complete control of the locker room. And I say that to say, if you're not going to be in line, if we'll trade an All-Pro, anybody can be disciplined. Anybody can get it. Do what you're supposed to be where you're supposed to be. And so I just wanted to get your thoughts in a public forum, Zach. And, you know, it's cool to see that, like, I don't think not just us, but I just get this sense that a lot of Cowboys fans really aren't worried. Like, they aren't stressed. They aren't mad about it. It is what it is at this point.
Yeah, I got that vibe too. I really wasn't expecting that, but I just, based on the comments, at least, I feel like it's been like 70-30, like 70% are like, yeah, okay, he's out the door. We got 2 first-round picks. Kenny Clark are excited about it. And the other 30% or kind of where I was at with, you don't get rid of all-pro players. Yeah. So I think the fan reaction, and we're going to find out really quickly, like what the pass rush is going to look like tomorrow against the Eagles.
Yeah, we'll get a good and a good litmus test because their O-line is really, really good. Yep. Shout out to everybody in the chat box. We'll interact with you guys, but we also want to make sure that we hit the topic. And shout out to you, Paul, for making sure telling everybody to hit the like button, one of my admins. So Zach's live on his channel. I'm live on my channel. We're going to be doing this again after every game. Unless I'm out doing something crazy or Zach can't get to his whatever, we are going to be doing a post-game show, making sure that we get you guys our fresh thoughts, just talk about the game, and I'm excited. So, Zach, I wanted to ask you, how do we feel about beating the Eagles? Like, we talked about the offense. You did a great piece today. What are some points for you? So I think how I want to do it, Zach, and tell me if you're good with this. I want to go your point, we talk on it, my point, and then we'll go back. We'll go snake draft. So then I'll start again, and then you go, and then you snake till we get to our 5 points. So
that's perfect.
What's one? What? Let's go with your biggest. You wrote down. You sent me your nuggets, but what's your biggest nugget, Zach? Like, how do you feel as far as we can beat these guys and we need to do this?
So one of the keys to victory that I had, and I feel like it's a little underrated in terms of it's not a player.
Underrated is good, Zach. Underrated.
It's not a player. It's coaches. It's the coordinators, right? So this is Shotty's first game as a head coach. Matt Eberflus has been a head coach. Clayton Adams has been around the game for a long time, and we know what he did in Arizona with James Conner. It's Shotty's first game, so there are going to be nerves. I don't care what kind of person you are. Your first game as a head coach, you are going to be nervous. So for this game, a key to victory is I think both of the coordinators have to keep everything under control. They have to help their young in head coaching years coach out. Clayton Adams has to have a plan to attack the Eagles defense where you can find mismatches, and I'm sure we're going to talk about that with your points and some of mine. And then Matt Eberflus figuring out a way to slow down this Eagles run game.
Yeah.
Right. And I think both of them have a big role to play in winning this game, helping Shotty out. He's going to be thinking about, obviously calling plays, timeouts, challenges, all of that stuff down from the booth. He's going to have to be juggling a lot of stuff. So Adams and Eberflus are going to be a big, big part.
Bro, what you said is key. I think that being a first-time play caller, right? You script maybe your first 15, depending on how Shotty's going to do it. What if there's a penalty? What if things go awry? Who's going to be that voice to say, hey, Shotty, get back to the run. Hey, don't forget about this. Let's hit our mark here. Don't forget that we can. And so whoever's going to do that, and it should be Clayton Adams, that voice of reason, a calm voice. Who's going to be the calm voice? Well, is it his quarterback's coach? Is it a receiver coach? Most of the time in the headphones, a lot of people aren't talking, right? It's not so, but who is the voice that Shotty is talking to? Hey, you guys like this? We good with, okay, cool. Let's run it. Let's call it. And I think Dak will, being honest, to your point, Dak is so far along in his career where he's still young enough to still be a good player, but he's also old enough and cerebral enough to he's seen every look. He's seen every defense. He sounds confident. He sounds like he's in a bag. So with that, Zach, like the calmness of it, because it's different when it's 3rd and 8 and you're staring down a barrel and you're looking at your play sheet and you don't like anything, right, Zach? And so that's going to be – so I thought that was a really good point with the coordinators. One of my points, Zach, this is going to go – it's going to tie directly to your point. And I want to see what – this is the nerd in us, Zach, the nerd in me and you, the football people we are. What run designs does Clayton Adams come with, right? Because you're looking at this Philly roster, okay? Really strong up the middle. I get it. We all know who Jalen Carter is. Really good player. We know who Jordan Davis is. So, but what about, can we attack the edges, right? Can we attack Jalix Hunt run game wise, right? Can we attack Nolan Smith run game wise, right? Or are they in that, the front wise is going to be interesting because Vic defensively, he doesn't really move much. He doesn't really do much. They just kind of play sound defense, and the back end they'll run match quarters. They'll run cover 6, and they'll just wait for you to make that mistake. But on the front end, how can he crease the run game? Are you going to try to move these guys, off the ball? Are you going to try to position block? Is it going to be GT? Are you going to run pin pull? Is it going to be some outside zone? Are we going to see that true gap scheme? How are we going to get Javonte Williams going? Because, it sounded like Javonte Williams, and when you listen to him, he, right, was surprised he didn't play in the preseason. Zach?
Yep.
So how does Clayton Adams run design-wise get things going?
I said it in my breakdown video that they're going to have to attack those edges because they're so stout up front with Jordan Davis and Jalen Carter.
No. Yeah. Jalen Carter in the middle.
Right?
Yeah.
You're going to have a really hard time trying to move those guys off the ball if that's your plan. You're also going to have a hard time reach blocking those guys and doing those types of things. The edges, and I was looking at the Eagles roster earlier when I was doing my breakdown, they're a lot lighter on the edge than they have been in the past. So I'm running outside zone stuff, like you said, pin and pull, all of that, because you got to make the linebackers work. And we saw this with Mike McCarthy way too much, where you're running it up the gut, inside zone. You're not getting anything. You're a trap play here, and it's not working. We didn't see. I wish I would have looked up the numbers before we got on here, but NFL Pro will tell you how often offenses run inside the tackles and outside the tackles. Dallas was like 28th, 27th. Like they were way down there last year, and we saw what Clayton Adams did in Arizona with a guy that I'm not saying Javonte Williams is James Conner, but like kind of that same thing. He was left Pittsburgh. He's a decent running back, but he's not all that great, all that. So I'm going to be really interested to see what he dials up. I think I'll hopefully attacking those edges, but I want to see what Javonte Williams looks like in this.
No, I can't wait. I can't wait, Zach. And I'll say this. For me, just Javonte Williams, just his physical, like who he is physically, right? Yep. There's been a video going around on Twitter, Zach, where it's just like Javonte Williams 2 years ago at North Carolina. It's like we forget just how good he was. Well, now he's 2 or 3 years removed from the injury, Zach.
Yep.
Number one, does he trust the knee? Number two, can he get back to, if he can get to 90% of what that was, I'll take it. Let's ride.
Same.
For a 1 year deal, your running back is probably in this draft class. So, let's ride, Zach. So in true snake fashion, Zach, my next key to victory, something that I'm really looking forward to, I'm excited about, Osa and Kenny Clark playing together, Zach. Like, there's a world where this Eagles offensive line isn't as stout as it once was, and it's not being talked about enough, Zach. All right, so I looked at it. Cam Jurgens is not Kelsey. No. He's good. He's not Kelsey. I don't know if Landon Dickerson is going to play. Maybe Chatbox. Chatbox, is Landon Dickerson going to play? If he does play, right, cool. Is he truthfully healthy, Zach? That's what I want to know. Okay, cool. And then just looking at, with Landon Dickerson and then Tyler Steen, I just don't think Tyler Steen's that good of a player. I think he's probably, if you look at their line, because Mailata is a Pro Bowler, and we all know who Lane Johnson is. Lane Johnson is the standard. I mean, he's like what you had with Tyra Smith. I mean, as long as he's out there. So now, how do we find those weak links? To me, 1, 2, 3, center, guard, I think they can be attacked. Well, guess what you just did? You just brought in Kenny Clark. Guess who Osa is? A really good player who, by the way, everybody, Osa breaks down as the year goes on. But, well, he didn't break down last year. He actually kept getting better and better. And I'm just interested to see, can Osa and Kenny Clark, I mean, you don't need a lot of time to get your D tackles to play well. Like, this isn't a, Pickens and Dak need to get on this. This isn't that. Can you guys consistently play with great pad level, be disruptive? That the one thing that both of those guys are very disruptive. The one thing that they are they can get upfield, and Kenny Clark can get upfield and play the run well. So that's like what I really want to see, Zach. What are your thoughts on that?
I think this is the first time in a long time that we're actually semi excited about what Dallas can do on the interior of the defensive line.
Yeah.
Like having Kenny Clark, having someone that can actually anchor against the run and not get blown 4 or 5 yards off the ball and keep those linebackers clean, take on double teams. Then I don't think people have talked about this enough. If your interior defensive line is good enough, I think your linebackers are athletic with Leah Fowl and Kenneth Murray. Got to fix the eyes and stuff, what he's seeing. But you get that down, like they have a chance to actually stop this Eagles run.
Yes.
Will they? I don't know. I really hope so. But it's like there's a lot more hope there than there was before the Kenny Clark trade.
Yeah.
I know we talk about Micah Parsons as a run defender. I wasn't feeling great when you didn't have Kenny just because you had Micah in the run game, at least, because Saquon, I think, had 165 rushing yards against Dallas last time. So just getting stouter on the interior. And like you said, that the Eagles center guard, they're not as strong as they once were.
No.
So I'm excited about that one. And I'm actually going to switch it to the other side. And we're going to talk about the Cowboys interior offensive line.
Nice.
The Eagles defensive interior. Right?
Okay.
Trenches.
Yes. Guys, Zach did give the disclaimer. So if it gets a little muddy with this internet, just pray with him. Let's give Zach the prayer hands. There we go. He's back.
Okay.
Okay.
So as I was saying, I was like, the internet done went out. Cowboys interior offensive line, Eagles defensive interior. Jalen Carter, Jordan Davis. Talked about them a little bit earlier. But then you have Tyler Smith.
Yes.
Who's a dog. Like we know what we're getting in Tyler Smith. But it gets interesting when you look at Cooper Beebe and Tyler Booker.
Agreed.
A second-year center. He should be stronger this year. Second year in the NFL. He had that rookie strength last year. Another year at the same position. That should be there. And then you look at Tyler Booker, who played like 20 snaps in the preseason. That is going to be a test. I thought when they drafted Booker that was going to be a strong part of their team. You can look at the offensive interior and say they can move people around. Well, if you can move around Jalen Carter and Jordan Davis, you can move anybody around. So that's what I'm going to be watching for in this game. Can they do anything with some inside runs? Can they get guys moving off the ball?
And I'll say this, Zach. If Booker struggles week 1, I don't want people to panic.
No, I'm not freaking out.
Yeah. And what you're saying is true. I honestly, playing forward, I don't know if I'm worried about Booker as much as I am. My whole deal with Booker being drafted, and I know, go ahead, chat, get your jokes off. Foot, you didn't want him. Foot, you threw a panic attack. Guys, it's not that. I watched on film and he struggled with quickness. Like when Booker was bad is when it was lungy and when he struggled with quickness. I think if he gets his hands on you, Zach, even if it's a Jalen Carter, dare I say, if he's coming and playing forward, he can move guys. Like that's not going to be. And not only that, he doesn't get moved. The issue is when you're playing somebody with the quick twitch, like Jalen Carter, him and Dexter Lawrence is crazy. We like literally have the 2 best D tackles in our division. They may be the 2 best D tackles in the division. And I mean, in the NFL. So those are going to be the tests. And that's why he was drafted. And to be honest with you, I don't think that I personally don't think that he's going to struggle run blocking. I think the struggle will be pass blocking and Jalen Carter getting to his hands. Carter has very violent hands. That's where I think some of the struggle will. But if it's not bad, I don't think there'll be room for panicking. And to your point, Zach, if we could just move people, man. And if we can get to 2nd and 6, 3rd and 5, you're in good shape because CD can run through the slot. I mean, run the slots and run the overs, the digs, and he can give you every route you want. So to me, you can do that. I think you're in amazing shape. Zach, snake draft. Give me another key, buddy.
So I was going to mention the pass game with the offensive line, the interior, because Dak is better when the front of the pocket. Like you can't have Booker getting beat, and then if you're worried about your tackles with Steele or Guyton or Nate Thomas or whatever. But that's because you got to get the ball to George Pickens. I think there's money to be made against the Eagles secondary. Now they have gotten better. Mitchell, Cooper DeJean, but most likely the matchups are going to be Pickens against Mitchell or Keely Ringo.
Yeah.
Right. How many times do we see Brandon Cooks on the outside not be able to win his matchup with what they do with CD? Right.
Yeah.
Because if CD's in the slot, that guy could be going against the number one corner, which would be Mitchell on this team. Pickens is a number one. He's used to going against those corners, and you trust him to win those routes.
Yeah.
So if the offensive line can hold up, let some things develop downfield, those digs, those overs, those crossing routes, I think there's money to be made with Pickens, because I said it in my preview that the Eagles are most likely going to say we can't let CD go off in this game. Like, that is going to be their number one focus. That's going to be the thing.
And why wouldn't it?
Yeah. And why wouldn't it? And then Pickens will be that number two, like, oh, we're worried about him. And then Ferguson will be sprinkled in there. Oh, what are they going to do with Turpin? But I think there's room for Pickens to have a big game. It's just going to be based on him and Dak's chemistry, where they're at. They haven't played in a live game yet, but if they're on, this offense could be fun.
I tweeted it. I said, I think Pickens has a big game. So here's what we got to remember. Even about if it's Quinyon Mitchell, he's a second-year player, guys. I don't think that he's really good, but I don't look at him as a Patrick Surtain type corner where it's just like super locked down. He's really good. But I also saw Jonathan Mingo run past him and Cooper Brush do a lollipop. I also saw, Tolbert dunk on him he scored a touchdown. He dunked on him in the end zone. So when you talk about it that way, Zach, I think that, and to stay in this vein of passing the ball. So if I'm Philly, yes, eyes are going to go to CeeDee Lamb, but it's kind of hard when you use CD in the slot as much as Dallas does. So it's still going to be a lot of two-way goes. Cooper DeJean is going to have to chase him around, and Cooper DeJean is also a second-year player. I'm taking CeeDee Lamb every day. Love Cooper DeJean. He'll come up, make the tackle, rah. But I think some of that is he's super overhyped because he's a white corner. No offense, Zach is one of my white best friends. I mean, no offense to any white people out here, but he's a little overhyped. No, he's not. Cooper, actually, to be honest with you, if you go back to that draft, being completely fair, I loved Cooper DeJean, like coming out of Iowa, but I remember the knock on him was there were times on the edge when he was in like true man like coverage, he didn't find the ball well. He would get lost, so I like Cooper DeJean. This isn't a knock on him. He's really good, but I'm going to take money with CeeDee Lamb. Like, what are we doing? So the one who has to really win, I think Pickens gets his, but if they take away CeeDee Lamb, Jake Ferguson needs to win. And it's going to be a tough matchup, especially because some of that spot drop stuff, I will say Zach Bond is really good at, right? Like he's extremely good at getting to areas on the field. He can run really well. I think that's what they're struggling with. And I was reading somewhere in preseason in training camp with G.I. Campbell's, he just doesn't know enough. And he's not ready to fully be integrated in Vic's defense. Well, Bond is, and he's a great athlete. So that's going to be interesting. And guys, there's very much a world where CD could get going and you just keep feeding him as well. Like 2 years ago, there was a world where CD had 191 passing yards. So
when I go over this game and I look at it position group by position group, like matchups, I think that one of the advantages that Dallas has is their wide receivers versus corners, or their pass catchers versus this Eagles secondary. Like, I like the matchups, like you mentioned with Mitchell, like you mentioned with DeJean and Pickens, and even Turpin getting involved. I've talked about that throughout the offseason. Like, maybe they can find a role for him as well. Dallas might have to score 40 to win this game. And if they're clicking, I think they can.
I was about to say, I think they can win in that Bengals way. Another thing is this. What about Turpin in the run game, Zach? Few handoffs, few jet sweeps, keep them honest, make these guys that can't just drop in coverage, let's say your O-line is playing a little shaky, give Turpin a jet, give Turpin a quick screen. Let him the thing that the Cowboys need tomorrow is explosive, Zach. They need big plays. Don't be scared to take shots. Don't be scared to push the ball downfield. The Cowboys need big plays. They need chunk plays. They need Pickens. So many times it's been said, oh, yeah, Pickens can just win deep on the outside. I want to see Pickens used over the middle of the field. He's a big target. Obviously, the quarterback play that he had in Pittsburgh wasn't great, but like, let's get Pickens the ball in different ways, right? We see now that Zach agrees with me. I mean, you guys see, listen, when Zach freezes, what do we guys do? What do we do, y'all? Because his internet doesn't want us to be great. You know what I think? I think that Philly fans have you guys tapped in to Zach's internet, and I don't like that. I think that that's what just happened. Me and Zach were rocking and we were rolling, and you guys tapped into Zach's internet, and I don't agree with that. So let's get the prayer hands and let's get Zach back. Let's get the prayer hands and let's get Zach back. Paul. So, but yeah, in all seriousness though, guys, when I look at this matchup, I just am not worried. Like, I think there's a world where the Cowboys could lose and it look a certain way. What you can't do is go out there and get railroaded. You can't get blasted. But I just don't, I'm not worried. I'm not, the Cowboys won't be able to, they're going to be able to move the ball. I think my issues and my thoughts are, how do they look on defense? How do they stop the run? Like, if I had to give a summary to everything that we just said, you need to be able to stop the run. I agree, Mafia. Rest in peace to Zach's internet. How do we stop the run? Number one. How do we, yes, and you know what? Let's take time to just say, shout out to 600 people here. Shout out to my boy DK. That's my dog right there. We're going to talk DK. But at the end of the day, right? How do we stop the run? All right. How do we get CD and Pick going? Like, these two are going to win us a lot of games. In that same vein that, Jamar Chase and T. Higgins win their team games. I just think that Dallas has the potential to have a better defense than the Bengals. Like, you still have guys on this defense. I know we know what just happened. It's cool. It's fine. We know what just happened. But to act like that it's the end all be all, I just feel good. Like, I don't know. I feel good. You know what I mean? You win this game, the grease will be hot for sure. The grease will be hot. Few things I want to get to. Okay, so no, that's what it was. I think Zach, his power went out. It wasn't even his internet. Let me text him. See, are you jumping back on, Zach? Let me see. Also, before I go, guys, this video is brought to you guys by Sleeper. Sleeper, you guys know it's a great app. Matter of fact, let me do this. Let me show y'all. Okay, so Zach will be back on in 2 minutes, so we'll give him closing argument. But like, the one thing I do love about Sleeper, bro, it's just like, it's cool how you can use this joint, right? Like, I don't even have an app right here. Let me see. So I don't have an app on my computer. But I showed you guys in my last video, like, Sleeper has some cool plays. They have some cool stuff. And if you guys want $100 credit, go use code FOOTS for Sleeper. It's awesome, bro. Like, it's one of those situations where, as cool as FanDuel is, and I like the duel, as cool as FanDuel is, Sleeper might be a little bit better because it's interactive. Like, you can actually watch the game on Sleeper. Like, you can watch the actual games on Sleeper. So, and you can watch like some of the plays, how they're moving. Even that Sleeper's giving you a free play with Dak. Dak over 0.5 yards. You could take that. You could parlay. You could build picks. So Sleeper is sponsoring this channel, sponsoring this show. So much love to you guys. Chat box, what's going on? Any questions you guys have as we come to a close here? To me, and also, like, one thing for sure, two things for certain.
Sorry, we are struggling bad at Double Move Enterprises. All right, dude, the power, just everything cut off, dark as it gets down here in the basement. I'm like, no. Okay, we're good. We're back.
All right. Somebody said rest in peace to Zach's internet, but They just
we're
came alive
struggling.
from the dead. We're back, Zach.
Hey, Starlink, guys. This is what happens when you live in the middle of nowhere.
So I was just telling him, Zach, about the plays on Sleeper. Do we have the commercial, or if not, it's cool. We'll get it together.
Let me see.
Can you run it, Zach? Can you run it from the media assets? If not, it's cool. I'll let you give your closing arguments, and then we can head on out of here. My good buddy.
I don't see it on here, but I can tell people what I'm playing this week on Sleeper.
What are you playing, Zach?
Let's see. So I like to play, when I play Sleeper, I like to do Cowboys stuff, just like really Cowboys games, because you kind of know what they're doing as far as like you have an idea of the game plan, not completely, but you kind of know. And so this week I am, if I can get to it, I'm doing CeeDee Lamb more than 72.5 receiving yards, George Pickens more than 54.5, and then Javonte Williams under half a rushing touchdown. And then you have to have one more. And then I did Saquon Barkley under 96.5.
I think I played that as well.
Yeah. So it's a ton of fun. Sleeper, you get 100% deposit match when you sign up with code DoubleMove or Foots. It's a ton of fun. We really appreciate them sponsoring the channel this year. It's daily fantasy sports, ton of fun to play.
Yeah, it really is. And it's streamlined. The app is really cool.
Yeah.
They
have a great interface, and you can play fantasy on there too.
Yeah.
You can start a fantasy league on there.
You could parlay sports. Like you could take basketball with football with baseball. So it's all that. Zach, closing deal. As we close, what is the one thing the Cowboys, if there's one thing they cannot do, what is that?
They cannot let Saquon run wild. Not let the Eagles control the tempo of the game, because this offense is going to be nearly impossible to stop if you're giving up 5 or 6 yards on first down and they're able to get to 3rd and 2 on second down or 3rd and 1. They're going to run the tush push. Then they're going to get 4th and 1. They're going to run the tush push again. They're going to pick up a first down. And then they're just going to keep doing that. And by halfway through the second quarter, you're going to want to back.
Yeah.
So it's just, please, if there's anything, I think you can keep it close if you make Hurts throw the ball and limit Saquon.
Yeah, to me, Jalen Hurts, the death that I want to die is Jalen Hurts has to show me. Yep. And if he does, you shake his hand at the end of the game and you see him whenever you play him again. Exactly. But that's me. Like, and I'll take it a step further, Zach. Dallas can't turn the ball over. Like, it's already going to be hard enough going in there. They're a really good team. I hate it, but Philly is really good. Now, one thing that the Eagles have done, especially when it comes to them switching coordinators, is they struggle, right? When they had Brian Johnson, it wasn't great. They got off to kind of like a goofy start with Kellen Moore, and I feel like Sirianni just said, hey, this is the menu that you have to choose from, Kellen. Run these plays. That's it. And I feel like Kellen did such. They didn't really have much creativity last year. Kellen just called it. So I don't think I've talked about it, and I guess it's worth mentioning. I'm interested in the penalties. Mike McCarthy, but there were so many flags. I think they broke records with Mike McCarthy. So I'm interested to see if Brian Schottenheimer's cleaned that up at all, because that can kill you too. You can't stop him on 3rd down and then have a illegal hands to the face or a face mask or a holding penalty. Yeah, and Zach, we just got a monster super, so I'm gonna talk about that. Did you see it, or I don't know if you saw it? I'm gonna just show it real quick. Foots, my $50 request. This is a $50 request. This is how much people love you, Zach, and I'll send you $25 of this, Zach. I don't know if it came in mind on your channel, but get Zach on the episode of The Collective. He's ready and deserves a shot. Ladies and gentlemen, if you don't know, Zach is going to be doing some major things. I'm not going to speak on his behalf, but anywhere I go, Zach will probably be with me in The Collective. That could be in the future. We never know. But
y'all
Zach
got a great group over there.
We do. But I just want to say that Zach is the standard. That's why I'm working on him. He is his content inspires me. So that's really cool of you. Jangly Echoes. Yep. Interesting name, Jangly. Thank you for that.
We really appreciate it.
Thank you for that 50. Okay, guys, we're gonna let you guys go. Run this back, send it to your aunt, to your uncle. We had over 600 people in here. Again, we will be live after the game, after every game, and we're gonna try to go live once a week to give you guys a preview. Kind Can we commit? Well, let's commit to that, Zach. I think the fans liked it today. Had a bunch of people in here on both channels. So let's commit to that. And as always, man, we love you guys. Thank you for everything. Zach, you got anything before we go?
Super chats for new Wi-Fi. Anybody help me out. All right. Yeah, that's all I got. Yeah, we appreciate it. Live shows before games, after games is going to be a ton of fun.
Yep, we're going to work on an intro and an outro for you guys to make it more streamlined, make the show come together and pop. All right, love you guys. Peace.